Diet starts never. Don't mind my crappy writing, but have you ever tried to start a diet? Have you ever tried to follow a diet? Chances are it didn't work because dieting sucks, and I'm going to convince you why. Not that I have to, why you should never diet. But actually, I was reading an interesting study today, and I'm not one to cite studies on social media. I think it's kind of annoying. But my Net Diary, they actually interviewed 2,000 Americans, and they talked about dieting and why diets fail, and it was actually the results were pretty interesting. 35% of people said the amount of effort required was why they failed. 33% said the cost. 28% said the lack of support, and 27% said a lack of time. So that's effort, support, cost, and time, which are very big things. When most fitness advice on social media obviously ignores. Oh my gosh, my writing's getting worse by the video. All social media advice ignores these things. Why? I don't know why. It's kind of annoying. And it was kind of funny because 37% said that they quit because they had to cut off food that they loved, which drove them crazy, obviously. Who doesn't like pizza? 73% said that they gave in to junk food, and that derailed their diet dreams. So long story short, no plan survives enemy contact. And the reason that dieting doesn't work is because it's so restrictive. Human beings are not meant to be restricted like that, and we're not meant to count calories. We're not meant to be told what we can't do. As you can tell during these lockdowns, we hate being told what we can't do because it sucks. So these four are actually why you shouldn't diet, and I'll tell you why. Effort required is usually too much for the average person. I know in the perfect world, you would wake up at 5 in the morning, you would do meal prep, you're expressing gratitude, you're manifesting, you're taking a cold shower, you're doing yoga. That's not how life works, Like, I've tried to follow strict diets in the past, and every time the same thing happens. I'm like, this is a lot of work. And before you scold me, save your lecture for somebody else. I live in reality. I can eat well, but if there's too much effort required, the average person won't do it. And of course, if you're a professional athlete or a fighter or some sort of an actor, yes, you can follow a diet. But most people, it's just way too much effort required. And when there's a lot of effort required, you just don't stick to it. This doesn't mean that you're lazy. You have a life. You shouldn't feel guilty about having a life. You can't tell your boss that you have to eat every 2 hours, so you can't be at that meeting. So effort is the main reason why most diets fail and why you shouldn't diet. Number 2 is support. Like most of us, we can't do things alone. It sucks. We need accountability. We need some sort of support, someone to push us. When you're trying to diet, it sucks, right? Because everybody else around you is eating, food they like. They're having a good time. They're going out for drinks. They're living life, and you're like, this is terrible. I don't want to be just sitting at home and counting calories. You should be sitting at home. That's what they tell you to do. But you know what I mean. You don't want to be just counting your calories and bored and miserable, right? That sucks. And that's another reason why you shouldn't follow a strict diet. 3 is the cost. Jesus, some of these diets are so restrictive, and you're only allowed to eat certain foods, and those certain foods are also absurd. I remember trying to follow this really strict diet. I did a grocery run. I'm like, this is insane. Who can afford all this organic, grass-fed, super healthy, super strict, which I know is good for you. We all know that, but it's just the cost is ridiculous, and the time. This kind of ties into effort and time. Who has time, or who wants to dedicate all their time to counting calories, living in the kitchen, and trying to prepare all these very specific meals? I don't know about you, but I can't do that. And I don't want to do that. I want to live my life. I want to be a productive member of society. I want to wake up, get shit done, and do whatever I want to do. So that's why you should try the fasting and the feasting. Obviously, you guys knew this is where this was going. But the main benefit of fasting and feasting is that the effort is nothing. There's zero effort required. You're doing nothing. That's how can you not do that? You get to sleep in more, which is what I do. I love sleeping in. I know. I should be up at 4. Shut up. Leave me alone. You get to sleep in, and you don't have to meal prep, which I hate doing. I like to cook feast, but I don't like to meal prep. I think it's boring. I think it's kind of lame. And you don't have to worry about specific diets or specific foods. So for example, sometimes I'll cook a feast. Other times I'll go to Chipotle, or I'll do Uber Eats, or I'll just order whatever I can find just because I eat food. That's what I do. I eat whatever I want. Support, it works because you don't have to feel alienated. Most diets don't pass the Friday night test. You know, you go out for some drinks with friends, or you go to meet a friend for dinner. Then you're like, wow, I can't eat this, I can't eat that. You just kind of get fed up, you feel restricted, and you don't like that. It sucks. So you don't have to worry about support because you're on your own. Most people are on their own for breakfast anyways, and breakfast and lunch. So you can do whatever you want during the day. Then when you go for dinner with friends in the evening, you can eat whatever you want without feeling restricted. And you're not that weirdo. Like, we all have that one friend. I used to be that guy where like, you go out for dinner, everyone's like, well, what are you allowed to eat? Where can we go? And there's like a short list of places you can go for food because your diet doesn't allow you to eat anything that's yummy. Cost? I mean, what's the cost of nothing? you do the math, so 0.0. Well, in my case, it might be a couple dollars, might be $5, or $7, because I like to buy coffees, and if I'm with someone, I'll buy them a coffee. Or, I might make a French press, but it's still a cost, so my food budget in the morning is, whatever the coffee costs. And time kind of ties into effort. How much time do you need to do nothing? Not a lot of time, right? You get your time back. You're less anxious. You're less stressed. You wake up. You do whatever you want until it's time to feast. Then when you feast, you enjoy your meal and you move on with your life. You're not dedicating your life to your diet, which we're not meant to do. Like, look, I can respect an Olympic athlete or someone that has to devote their life to their diet. But that's not you. Let's be honest. I don't know who you're trying to fool. You just want to look better. You just want to feel better, have more energy, get checked out more. So that's why you should never diet. And that's why fasting and feasting is the best way of eating. And you should subscribe, or comment, or like, or share this, and spread the word.